Hi everyone, Freewell sent me their Genius Vision Kit and I have to say I'm really excited about this one. It's for the iPhone 15 Pro, which is what I have. You can also get it for the iPhone 15 Pro Max 16 and 16 Pro Max, which is coming out, or by the time you've watched this, may already have come out. Now when you take this out of the box, you do feel a bit like James Bond taking a gun out of a suitcase or something, and it really does feel great in the hand as well. You've got nice rubber buttons underneath so you can still use the functions of your phone that you'd normally be able to use. You've got those gold levers underneath as well, which we'll talk about later on. And then on the front, you've got a lens plate for the F-series lenses that Freewell make as well. Underneath this, the secrets carry on, where you have QR codes as well, for sort of manuals and things like that you can learn about this rig and how to use it. You get two handles for the right and left side of this handheld rig as well, which clip in. You've got cold shoe mounts on there as well, and you've got a few details which we'll get into shortly, but the black and yellow look at this is really, really slick. I think it looks really lovely and professional. Now you've got quick connections here, which allow you to put the handles on, and they work a bit like closed pegs, so you can kind of clip them in to just about anywhere on this rig to adjust to your flexibility and situation in which you're filming in. And it also is really nice to work around various accessories that you might use it with. So opening up these levers allows you to then get the phone in. That's a very, very, very tight fit, I have to say. There's no way your phone is going to come out of this. It is very, very strongly and snugly put into the cage. So when you push these levers back down, that phone is not coming out for love nor money. That will stay there no matter what you do. And I did the shake test on it as well. There was no sign of this phone coming out. It is built like an absolute tank. I was also sent the variable 1 to 5 stop ND filter by Freewell, and this is a really interesting connection method for this filter. Now when you take it out, you don't have anything covering the back glass of it, which is, you know, something I always like to have, but it's not a huge deal when it's in the case. It comes with a rubber cap, and then you can see the 1 to 5 stops there as well. And as you twist the front of this filter, it allows you to have less or more light into the sensor of your phone, which will then allow you to keep your shutter speed down, matching your frames per second, that all important cinematic motion blur. Now one of the things that makes this rig unique is the fact that the ND filter sticks on magnetically. It's a really, really tough magnet as well, so it's not going to come off unless you really just throw this rig around, which you wouldn't do anyway. And you can even turn it whilst it's magnetically stuck to the rig. Now with the Genius rig, there's also two really amazing features that come with this. One of them being in the handle. So on this left hand side handle, if you turn it lefty loosey, righty tighty, then you've got yourself a really nice little tripod, which if I spread the legs out here on each of those, you've also got a 1/4" screw on the bottom, which you can then attach to the Genius rig by Freewell at the bottom. So you can use that as a tripod for when you're filming yourself, for vlogging, for travels. If you're out and about on holidays and stuff, you can put this down, get videos of yourself walking past the camera, that kind of thing. There's also another trick up the sleeve of the Freewell Genius rig, and that's in the opposite handle. So with this, I'm actually going to pull this handle out, and it's very, very stiff, so you've got to give it quite a big amount of strength to get this to slide along. You've now got yourself a selfie stick, or you can use it for like a boom and jib shot, that kind of thing. And then you can also, because this handle is actually 360 in itself, you can then also turn the whole thing so you can angle that slightly differently. So you can have the camera facing you, looking right down at the shot, and you can film yourself wherever you are at more of a distance and look much more professional than if you're just using your hand on the phone itself. On the left-hand handle, you can take out and unscrew a tripod, put that into the bottom of the monopod, and you've now got yourself a really nice setup once you screw it into the 1/4" thread at the bottom of this rig. It's a really solid setup, and you can take this anywhere you want to go for vlogging. As I say, you can use it as a selfie stick, you can put it on a table in a park, and it works really, really well and gives you great flexibility too for your filmmaking. Now in terms of practical use, this is absolutely fantastic. Because you're getting your hands off of your phone directly, you're able to eliminate any chance of getting those micro jitters that you can get by having your hands directly on the phone. Given that slight shake, even when you don't notice it in the phone, you will when it's on a larger screen, if you're on a laptop, if you're editing, something like that. Push-ins and push-outs are really easy as well, so you can start off perhaps with a deep depth of field, and then just use your body with these handles however you like to get really nice, easy, clear shots. With handles on wherever angles you want them on, and turned at different angles as well, you can really adjust these to get any kind of shot in any type of situation. And I have to say, it really, really does feel great when you're using it. Now, if I wanted to use that handle on the left-hand side as a top handle, this microphone is now in the way, or at least the receiver is. So if I actually try and move this on top, it's in the way. You can see there's not quite enough space there. And on a normal rig, you might have an issue there and not being able to use this as a top handle with a microphone plugged in here. But because you've got cold shoe mounts on top of both handles here and here, you're actually able to maneuver that microphone and put it elsewhere where it's actually not in the way. So if I slide that out and then I just turn it around, slide that into the handle, I've now got, if I loop that around, a cable situation which allows me to now use this as a top handle and with a microphone. So now I can turn this onto the top here, turn the handle, make sure it's nice and secure, and I've now got a top handle situation with the microphone on the side, which is absolutely fantastic. That kind of flexibility means that you can use this kind of rig in any situation at any point, and if you feel like something's in the way, just alter the way that this rig is set up and you've got yourself turnaroundable, feature-rich system. Now in terms of using this practically for your filmmaking, it is absolutely brilliant. The handles give you ultimate flexibility. You can turn them 360 as well, so you can then manipulate your camera into any kind of position you want. So if you're in a difficult tight spot, you can actually maneuver this and get it into a way that you can film anywhere, any point. The rubber grips on these handles are fantastic as well, and Freewell sent me this 1.33 blue flare anamorphic lens to go with it too, so let's check this one out. Out of the bag, it has a nice zip lock on it as well, and you've got a UV filter that attaches to this lens as well. If you don't want that, you can unscrew it. Of course, it does have that F-series bayonet mount as well for the lens, and has a back cap to it as well, so you can protect that back glass, and it's hooked onto the front cap, which is rubber as well, which covers the front glass as well, so wherever you got it in your pocket, it's not going to get broken. Now to use this, I would use the Blackmagic camera app, go into settings, then go into camera, and as you look down the screen and scroll down, you can see anamorphic D-squeeze where it says none. Select that, and then select 1.33 or 1.55 if that's the lens that you have. Go back into camera, and you're now filming in anamorphic footage. You can see by the black bars above and below here as well. Now this is a really fun lens to use. Obviously it's got a wider aspect ratio as well, giving you a nice field of view, and you've got that nice blue flare to mix in too. It feels really great within the rig as well. Having this ecosystem all as one part of the same brand does feel quite nice, I have to say. Usually I have a bit of a mismatch of brands I'm using, but this feels really, really nice. Twisting that handle rig as well gives you really nice footage, and when you get it in nature as well, amongst the leaves and the trees and the plants, this anamorphic lens really does show off just about anything really, really well. Do let me know as well in the comments down below if you want to see a comparison between this and the Moments 1.33 blue flare anamorphic lens. Now the flares on this are slightly thicker than I'm used to, but they're not too distracting, I would say, and you're used to getting that kind of sci-fi feel anyway. The quickness of movement that you can use with this lens is really nice too. The fact that you can change those handles positions allows you to capture things that are moving in a bit more of a flexible way. Freewell also sent their SSD mount, so if you want to shoot in ProRes, which is going to take up a lot of storage, you're going to need something like this and an SSD for your storage and your footage. Now this is really flexible just like the rig, so it carries on that kind of theme of being very, very adaptable. You've got rubber pads in the base of it, and you've got these gold screws which you can unscrew so you can actually loosen it, so you've got more of a wide grip for the cable, for your USB-C cable, and then you can actually use the clamp same as you would do with a phone clamp by extending it to fit in various SSDs as well. So by unscrewing the gold one, you can adapt it quite well, and then you've got the Allen keys and screws. This is the only part of the rig as well that uses any kind of tools really. One of my favourite parts about this is that apart from the SSD mount, this whole entire rig is tool free, which is really, really nice, and it allows you to use this very quickly and on the go too. Now it screws in very nicely into a 1/4 inch thread, this SSD mount, or as I've done here, you can use it just in the cold shoe mount as well. And then when I used this, I used it with a USB-C to USB-C cable with my T7 Samsung SSD. Fits in really, really nice and snug, very, very tight without damaging the SSD, and it works super, super well. Now obviously the cable I'm using here is much too long for most people's uses, but this is all I have for now, and it does still work really well to get that ProRes footage and save storage. If you're enjoying this video and getting lots of useful information out of it about this rig, then do hit that subscribe button and like button if you want to learn more about smartphone filmmaking. It helps this channel grow at no hassle to you. With the iPhone and Samsung Galaxy Ultra, you can get the Genius Rig for $149.99. That comes with the Bluetooth shutter button. For $209.99, you can get the same rig, but also get the variable ND filter that I showed you. For $400, you can get the Genius Rig Cine Pro Kit. That comes with all their filters basically, with an anamorphic lens as well, and that is a really great kit. For $800, you get the Genius Mega Rig Kit, and that is the same amount of filters, the rig itself, and all their lenses, which is a brilliant deal. and don't forget the links are in the description below. The only thing I can see that's really bothered me about this rig in terms of not being that great is actually the Bluetooth shutter button, which handily is magnetic, clips on and off, but actually it doesn't really work with the Blackmagic camera app. It works seamlessly with the native camera app of the iPhone 15 Pro that I have. I can use it for stop starting recording, but when I want to use it for my Blackmagic camera app, it just doesn't recognize it. So there's no way of using it to stop and start recording at all with the app that I can see. But if there's anyone out there who knows how to use this with the Blackmagic camera app that maybe I'm not seeing, then do let me know in the comments below. But that's the only real sort of niggling negative that I can see of this rig, because it's only a small part of it, but it would be really handy to use this in filming. And because you can turn it 360, it would be really handy to actually be able to have it there so that when you're filming, you can just hit record and stop just like that. This is something else. It really is sort of like a jet fighter, pilot, plane, Swiss Army knife, tank of a unit. And if I had to describe it in 3 words, it would be robust, flexible, and limitless. There really is nothing you can't do with this. You can also replace the mount of the lenses. So if you want to, you can purchase for a separate order a lens plate that actually allows you to use T-series moment lenses. This is an F mount for the F-series lenses of Freewell, but you can use different lenses with this should you want to, which gives it even more flexibility. The fact that you've got 11 different 1/4 inch threads on this is really, really useful as well for ultimate flexibility. You've got 5 quick connectors, so you can use your handles in so many different ways. You can also use it in portrait mode if you want, obviously not upside down, but you can use it in that way too if you want to. The rubber inside of here is really tough and it feels really grippy. There's no way that your phone is going to come out of this, absolutely no way. It's so tough and rugged. It's made of very light but tough alloy material as well, so it's extremely strong, and it's going to be an extremely robust situation to carry around with you and to film with. I would definitely use this for any handheld filmmaking that I do. It gets your hands off of the phone directly, so you're eliminating a lot of micro jitters, and also the way that you can twist the handles as well can give you variation of how you're going to use it too in different ways. There's not really any other way to criticize this because it is just so good. There is a link in the description should you want to check this out and make a purchase perhaps. I do make a little percentage off of that, and it does help me carry on with my channel and make videos at no extra cost to you. If you want to check out a short film I made that was completely handheld without a rig to see what you can do, then check out my short film anxiety train right here, right now. In the meantime, I'm going to have to start planning my next short film.